to show you all something. For the past few months, I studied an online course to become a certified Reiki Master. It took a while, but after several months of study, on October the 6th, I became a certified Master of Reiki. I want to get more training, and I am serious about it, even though I have very strange feelings and beliefs on how Reiki applies to the real world. I know a lot of you know that I think of it as only a placebo effect, but I believe placebo can be very powerful, very powerful. And I help people sleep all over the world. I'm not the biggest, I'm not the best, but I have helped people sleep literally all over the world. And that's a pretty powerful placebo effect. And I had a dear friend tell me, you better get back on here and do a new video because I need some sleep. So here I am. I think they know I'm talking about them. So, let's get busy. A Dr. Andrew Michaels tie. Dr. Andrew Michaels is a pretty nice guy. Let me lay my hand on you. Yes. Let me lay my hand on you. In all my training, something that came away from it to me through all my Reiki training was a deeper sense of connection between you and me. A much deeper connection. I'm able to connect so much closer now than I was before. I can feel the pumping. I can feel the blood through my veins. I can feel the connection between myself and you. It's so much quicker, so much easier, so much more powerful than in the past. There's a sense of energy drawing it between us that is not just line of sight, but maybe on a spiritual level as well. And I think Reiki does not defy science. I think the placebo effect of pulling your energy, your spirit from you, connecting it with mine, is a unique and very human experience. It doesn't defy logic. It doesn't claim, in my mind, to be supernatural. We don't need that. There are some who say there is no physical, scientific proof that the soul exists. And I agree with that. I agree with that. But, how does the body heal without external medicines, without assistance, without the touch of a healer, doctor or otherwise? The body is capable of so much. We see it in the animal kingdom all the time, and as a member of that community, we have the ability to go on to correct those errors in our body and our mind, sometimes with the help of external medicines and assistance from the medical community, and sometimes you just have to heal. Sometimes you just have to let the body heal. And I have a story, a witness to that I would like to share with you. There was something majorly wrong with me. This is also a medical update, so I hope it's not too boring for all of you. I don't want to take you out of where you're at, so stay with me. Stay with me, okay? I had a situation that I didn't discuss in great detail, but I told everybody, I'm fine. But I really wasn't. My body was under attack from an autoimmune response. And right before July 4th, I started to get red bruises, marks all over my body, blisters in my mouth, blood blisters. I had to watch what I ate. I couldn't brush my teeth. My gums would just bleed. My nasal cavity was bleeding. My mouth was blistering and bleeding. I was spitting up blood. Now, I know this is a very upsetting thing, but I promise you it wasn't that bad. when I say it wasn't that, how do I say it wasn't that bad when it sounds horrible? It was very tenuous, but it was mostly from if I ate something, it would cut my lip, or it would cut my gums, it would cut my inside of my mouth, and I would get blood blisters. And one day, I had 4 blood blisters in my mouth, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? And this was going on not very long. It progressed very quickly. What was going on was my spleen, an organ in my body, was triggered by some kind of autoimmune response. Autoimmune means my body was like attacking itself. I'm not a medical person, so if I'm speaking out of turn, members of the medical community are very welcome to correct me in the comments section, and I would really appreciate your feedback. But my spleen was looking at my cells, the blood platelets that clot your blood. When you get a cut, your platelets come out and they clot the blood. My spleen was recognizing them or seeing them as a virus or a bacteria. Not my red blood cells, not my white blood cells. The white blood cells heal you, red blood cells carry your oxygen and nutrients. These are little platelets that have little worker jobs to do. One of the major things they do is clot your blood. Well, my spleen, for whatever reason, was filtering them out. Now, it could have been because I had an infection in my jaw. Could have been causing my body to go into this autoimmune response. It could have been because I had COVID again, and it was very minor. But it barely affected me because I got vaccinated. But it could have been because of that. It could have been because of some flu I had. I got the flu shot. It wasn't a flu. I had like a cold that year. I had a really bad bronchitis cold, not a flu, and I got COVID. Because I didn't get the COVID vaccine that year, it's very confusing. And I got it from a coworker. But like I said, it wasn't that bad. But my body went haywire. And I had my normal blood work right before I went on we were going to go on a very small mini vacation, my family and I, with my daughter and her boyfriend. John and McKenna were going to go with us. And it was right before we're leaving. I got my blood work and I was going to go see my doctor. And my blood platelet level was a 3. And if there's anybody in the medical community, they'll probably tell you that that was really bad. I hope they do write down responses below, because they could probably explain it better than me. And if they do, I'll highlight their comments or whatever. But I had a level of 3. The doctor thought it was a mistake, that there was something wrong with the blood reading, even though I had these. Like when I say I had red marks all over my body, every time my dog Buster would jump on me, you could literally see every paw print on my stomach and my chest and my shoulders. If I bumped into a bathroom wall coming out of the bathroom, or I was at work a couple nights before I got the blood test, and I was coming out of the bathroom stall, and I hit my shoulder on the door, because just the way it was open, and I had a big crease. You could see right where it hit me, and it was getting worse. I don't want to tell you all the details because there was some other stuff going on. It's not real fun to talk about. But the blood blisters in my mouth were bad. I had some nacho chips, and those are really they're not sharp, but when you have blood platelet issues like I did, it was like eating razor blades. And I had just a few nacho chips and some cheese dip, and my mouth was full of sores. My tongue hurt, my lip and my inside of my mouth had these blisters all over, and they would fill up with blood until they popped. Literally, it was unbelievable. It was nerve-wracking. So he sent me to get another blood test, and that one was just as bad. So he said, well, you have to go to the emergency room. That's it. 4th of July morning, I'm in the emergency room at the hospital, and the care was incredible. And I've told this story before, and the people treated me so well. There's nobody goes to the hospital unless they have to on the 4th of July or Christmas. So I had the whole place to myself, literally, and it went rather quickly. And they shot me up with some kind of intravenous steroid and gave me a steroid prescription. And they said that would jumpstart my immune system. And they said, you can go home, just be careful, don't do anything physical, like, even like fishing. You don't want to get a fish hook in your finger or hurt yourself, trip and fall. Anything could, it could be really bad for you right now, but it should heal pretty quick. I cannot believe how quickly I started to heal. And when I say quickly, the very next day, my mouth, I don't know if I should gross you out, but I took a shower, and I wasn't telling my wife that when I took a shower and I blew my nose, sometimes you blow your nose because you have a little bit of, and you blow your nose and spit in the shower or whatever. Blood was coming out everywhere, every time. It was pretty touch and go there. That all quit, like literally within 24 hours from the injection. Like the very next morning, I took a shower, and I would take a tissue, toilet paper, and spit in it to see what was going on. Blow my nose, and I would look because I'm, what's going on. And it was coming out clear. That quick, like within 16 to 24 hours, I was not healed, but I was healing. Now, this is why I'm bringing this up. I'm sorry if it took too long. My blood readings went from, 3, literally 3. The normal range is like 280 to 450, something like that. I think 250 to 450, and I was a 3. The very next week it went up to like 60, and then it would go up again to like the 100 range, and it kind of stayed around the hundreds. So I was still too low, but it was okay. And this went on for several weeks. I saw a specialist, and he's an incredible doctor. And he was testing me once a week, and sometimes I was getting twice a week, just for a while. And I was out of danger, but it wasn't correct. And this all goes back to the placebo effect. I really do believe this, but remember, this is something I believe, so I'm not trying to offend anybody. So the steroids were helping, and the shot and the steroid was helping, and I was getting a little bit better, but not there. No other medication for this. After maybe a month or so, the doctor said that, well, normally when this happens, and he was holding off, he was being very patient. So one thing I like about this doctor I had, he was very patient. And he said that there's this, they give it to people with chemotherapy and stuff. It kills their immune system. So to jumpstart their immune system, they have this intravenous bag of chemicals. I don't know what it is. I don't remember the name. It's a real big name. But it's basically a chemo type drug they give cancer patients to get their autoimmune system going. And they told me to read up about it and everything. It's very expensive, and there's a story there. And I'd say this is about a month or so after everything started. It was touch and go. I'm better, but not better. I'm not normal, but I'm not bleeding. The sores are gone. I'm not bleeding in my mouth. All the marks on my body are going away. Doing better. But I'm not there. So he says, well, we might have to do this where we give you this intravenous drug. And if I remember it correctly, you buy it and you get 4 bags and they do it 4 times. So it's 4 different times. And you go there and the hospital, you get put on a bed because you have to rest while you're doing it. And they insert the needle and they put the whole bag into you. It's a bag of chemical. And it had tremendous side effects. And I don't want to get into what they were, but this is serious business. This isn't kidding around drug. This is like, you do this or you're going to die type drug. So it's worth the risk type drug. Everybody can say what they want, but when you're in that situation, you do what your doctor tells you when you have cancer or something like that, and it's serious. Well, I didn't have cancer. I just had this odd autoimmune disease that was not registering. So it was an anomaly. It was something that wasn't what was going on with this man. And they tested me for Lyme disease and some other things that it could have been, and it was none of that. All that came back negative. So I got tested for a ton of stuff. I got CAT scans, I got x-rays, I got all kinds of blood work, and nothing was showing up. My body just decided to attack itself. It seemed like it was correcting, but it wasn't, and they were going to have to do this drug. Now, here's the part that I think is interesting. I want you have to trust me, but also I'm not making this up. I'll try and tell you. The drug, the 4 intravenous bags of drug that you have to take, it's very expensive. And people in the medical profession will tell you I'm not making this up. Very expensive. The copay with my insurance, the copay for 1 bag of this drug was like $8,300 something. The copay for 1 bag. So 4 doses of this would have been like $34,000 out of pocket for me to get this treatment to correct this problem. They don't even mince words. They know you can't afford it. And I couldn't. They took me down into this office. They were real nice. It's like, the only thing I can compare it to is if you've ever had a kid or you've been in college, they take you to the office at the college when you run out of either money or student loans, or, my daughter needed more money because she ran out of student loans or grant money or scholarships and all that. It happens to every kid, so it's nothing unusual. The cost of higher education is unbelievable. So they run out of money. They take you to this room and they do like financial aid. And like with my one child, I had to do a real small, like little tiny bridging student loan for like $2,500 because they were just a little short one semester. We didn't take everything into consideration, and just one time out of you have 2 semesters a year for 4 years. It's like eight different semesters, or 10, depending on how long they go. One semester, my kid just come up short, and we needed to get this. They call it a Parent Plus loan for a couple grand. So they take you to the office and you do all that, and you make arrangements, and then you pay it when the kid graduates. And I'm paying one right now. No big deal. It's just a little bit of money. Whatever. I just didn't want to pay it out of pocket, because I did pay out of pocket. It reached the point sometimes with college where you've already made it out of pocket. You've already used all your stuff up. Similar. But anyway, I digress. They took me in office. I felt like I was in a financial aid office for college. And they're going over the fact that this company, I don't remember which one it was. I don't want to speak out of turn, but the company will offset the copay and help you pay it. And I think you still owe some on it, but they'll help you offset a lot of the cost. And you have to apply, and it really doesn't have to do with your financial situation, or it doesn't have to do with your financial means of paying back or anything. It has a lot more to do with the fact that the company knows it's an unreasonable amount of money. So they have these programs in place to help people, because usually people are already strung tightly from whatever brought them there, either an autoimmune disease or cancer or something like that, they're already struggling to that point. So they know by the time they get this treatment, they're stretched pretty thin. And I had decent insurance, but it was racking up. So I was a little nervous about it. Well, I already knew in my heart or my mind, if they expect me to pay for this, I can't. And I'm not going to go do a fundraiser. I'm not going to do this. I'm not doing this. There's no way I'm doing this. And that might sound defeatist, but I was like, unless they can make arrangements, I'm not doing this, because this is ridiculous. Maybe it was just I didn't give up, but I was just like, this is, I don't know what brought me here. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm not doing this. And it might sound defeatist, but I was just going through the stages of having to deal with this. Now, I'm not making this up. I went to that situation. My reading was maybe 120, 150. Never was at the normal level. And it was kind of doing this, where we go 100, then 80, then 100, 95 or something, 100, 120, 150. It wasn't getting better, but it wasn't getting worse, but it wasn't going anywhere, and you needed some treatment. The steroid was doing okay, but we can't keep you on that forever. So we're going to have to do this treatment. And I'm like, I don't want to do this treatment. I don't want to do it because of the money. I don't want to do it because of the side effects. I'm just not comfortable with it. And I just don't know what to do. I'm not making this up. I went out of that room, and then I did a blood draw. And we went home, and we had some paperwork we filled out. We actually filled the paperwork out to apply for the help from the company. And we were ready to go. They approved it and everything. I'm ready to go. I don't want to do this. I do not want to do this. I'm not making this up. I didn't pray about it. I didn't ask for higher power. I didn't cry out to God. None of that. I just accepted my fate and said, well, if they'll pay for it, I'll look at it, but I really don't want to do this. And I remember telling my wife on the way home, I don't want to do this. I told her, I don't want to scare you, but I looked at the side effects, and I don't want to, this is something I'm just not up to facing. I don't think this is worth it. We got home, and my wife said, it'll be okay, get some rest. And I worked that night before, so I was going to go home, go to bed. And she went to work for a little bit. She had to go to work. So I'm sleeping, and she gets a phone call at work. She's on my medical for everything, where they can talk to her about stuff. And I don't care. Some people are private about it, but I'm fine with that. She's at work, and she gets a phone call from the hospital, from the lady. And she said, they're going to hold off on the treatment. And she goes, they're going to hold off on the treatment? Yeah. And she said his reading, the new one that he just got today, it came in. It's like 350. She's like, they can't believe it. They're like, okay, he wants him back X number of days, test again. But we're going to wait. We're not going to schedule you or anything till we see another reading. See what's going on. Because if he's 350, he's normal. He doesn't need it. But it was all approved and everything. I go in the next week, and the week after, and the week after. It's been 10 weeks now. My reading is normal. 350, 375. Almost, I think I had a 400. There were a couple that were real near the top, and I was worried I was going to go too high. My reading's normal. I did have one that was kind of lower, but it wasn't that low. Maybe it was like 290, and then it would go back up to 350, 390, 401, 410, whatever. I can't remember. I'd show you, but it's kind of weird. Um, my body just corrected. I don't think it was magic. I don't think it was prayers. I don't think God put his hand on me. I honestly think that I looked at that, basically that mortgage or that car payment of a copay, and my body just said, I ain't doing this. And whatever was going on, my body said, told my spleen to just quit it. Full stop. Whatever you're doing, stop doing it. And I don't have any other explanation for it. My doctor doesn't have any other explanation for it. He said he was going to write a paper up on it. We never found out why. We don't know what caused it. We don't know why it fixed itself. But I'm free to believe whatever I want to believe. But the evidence and the facts that I have in front of me is that my body self-corrected because we jump-started it. We hooked a couple of jumper cables to my bolts on my neck and gave me a good shock, and my body said I've had enough and self-corrected. That's it. I don't think it verifies factually 100% that the placebo effect is real. I don't know if it is a placebo effect. I don't even know if this counts as a placebo effect. But I do know that on my way home, in my private thoughts in my mind, I wasn't speaking to the Holy Ghost or to God. I was speaking to myself saying, and I'm being honest, I wasn't crying. I wasn't sad. I wasn't depressed. I was like just resigned. And I went, I'm not doing this. There's got to be another way, or we're going to have to get around this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to sit on a gurney all day with an IV in my arm. I'm just not ready for this to happen to me yet. I just refuse to go along with it. And I corrected. My body corrected. Something happened. And I do think all the well wishes, all the kind words, all the thoughts and prayers, they do help because you feel the love. I felt the love of my family, my wife, the doctors, the nurses, all of you, my family that was worried about me. Friends and family, I think, have a big effect. And I just I didn't want it. I refused to give into it. I just said, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And whether that had anything to do with it or not, whether literally the sticker shock of, your car is a beater and it's nickel diming you to death at the mechanics every week. It's breaking down. And you go, I'm getting a new car. I'm getting rid of this piece of garbage. And you go to the car dealership and you look at the window sticker and you get what they call sticker shock, and you go, that car of mine, it's a classic. I love that car. That car is the best car I've ever owned. It gets you to point A and to point B. She ain't pretty, but she's all mine. I love her. All of a sudden she becomes a lady. She's just a lovely lady, that car. I honestly think I had a spiritual moment of sticker shock that just made my adrenaline or my glands or my brain chemistry just click and go, tell my spleen that enough of this is enough. Start working, or we're going to cut you out. That was also an option. If your spleen keeps doing this, they can cut your spleen out. I don't want a surgery. I don't want any of this. I have a real hard time with medical procedures, and this just That's another good thing that come out of this. I had a lot of problems getting taken care of medically because I have a lot of phobias, things that make it very hard for me, and I'll just leave it at that. I love medical science. I love doctors. I study medicine and science, and I love it. But I have a problem with it. I have a problem with needles and a lot of stuff. And here I had a disease where I had to get a needle draw of blood every week, and it was like it should have made me bat shit crazy, but it actually had the reverse effect. It helped me. I realized, or I had a realization that I have to deal with this. And it helped me cope. It helped me calm down. It helped me accept things. And it helped me deal with my neuroses and my phobias with medical stuff to the point where I've gotten everything I needed medically taken care of in the last few months. I got all my dental work done. I even have a problem going to the eye doctor, and I love going to the eye doctor. I haven't been to the eye doctor since I think 2021, so I'm like a new patient practically because I haven't been there in so long. And I need to go. And I didn't get a lot of things done that I needed done. And I'm going to the chiropractor, get my neck worked on because I can't really turn my head very far. I've got some problems there, and getting that taken care of. And let's see, everything. I'm just getting it all done. And I'm in the best health of my life right now because of that. So a lot of good came from this. And I think it was a state of mind. It was me agreeing or me accepting that my mortality and you only live once, and at least that's the way I believe. You only have one life to live, and I want to have the fullest life I can. And I was neglecting and abusing myself by being neurotic about medical treatments, even though I demanded my family and my children had the best medical care possible over the years. And I tell everybody to get things done. And I was neglecting myself to the point where I was literally probably killing myself. And I had to stop that. And it's been a journey. It's been really weird. But I think that what changed was me. Not just the idea of a placebo effect saying, if I don't get better, I'm going to have to take this medicine. Not just that, but what changed was my attitude, my trust that, okay, these doctors know what they're doing. They shot you up with that steroid and they fixed you. And if you would just go get fixed and straightened out more often, you wouldn't be in the hospital in the first place. And you have to quit abusing yourself like that by refusing to go when you are in trouble. When you're in trouble, go. When you're in trouble, get help. And I tell everybody that all the time in videos when they tell me that they have serious mental illness issues or problems. I tell them seek immediate medical professional help. And I tell you that, but I don't do it for myself. And I won't get into the whole deep neurotic part where I'm ashamed and upset with myself, but it had to change. And it has changed. And I think that had some kind of overall effect on me. Not only did it affect me, this mental change of stop it, get help, and you'll feel better, you'll have a better life, you'll live longer, you'll be happier. Not only did it have a mental change and some physical, I believe it had a physiological change in my body because my blood pressure was always very, very high when I would go to the doctor because my nerves were just a wreck. And it was always high when I would get tested, get my blood test taken, even with medication, because I was letting myself get so worked up. And I was getting some of the lowest blood pressure readings I've had in 30 years at the doctors and at the hospital, that I would actually ask them to take it again. Something must be wrong. And the reason why I think my body was responding in that way was I was calm. I was accepting. I wasn't fearful. I was changing. I was allowing myself to accept these things that I knew were true, that I knew were good for me, and just letting it take its course. And that sounds like counter what I just said. I was afraid to take that drug treatment, and my body corrected. But I don't think it would have corrected if I hadn't had the right mindset. I think that the placebo effect of you convince yourself every day, if you say, I'm sick, I'm sick, I'm sick, I don't feel good, I don't feel good, I don't feel good, you are going to be sick. You're going to tell yourself you're going to be sick. You're going to not get healthy. But if you sit there and tell yourself over and over again, I feel great, I'm getting treatment, I feel great, I'm getting better, my numbers are better, my readings are getting better, I'm getting healthier, you will get better. I think that has a huge effect on the body and the mind. And that's where I think the soul rides, in that little tiny space. The mind and the body come together through your outlook, your positive attitude, your nutrition, taking very good care of yourself, even down to grooming, even down to self-care, brushing your teeth when you need to, trimming your hair, looking after yourself, lotioning your hands when they're dry. It all comes together. Your self-care, your attitude, how you feel today. I feel great. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. I feel good. I was sick. I took some medicine, or I got some rest. And now I feel great. I think that has a tremendous effect on you. And I think that's where we think the soul is some part of us that goes on to another life, and that there's another life after this. And that may all be true. We don't know what happens. The veil covers us, and we are gone. But I think our soul goes on. Everybody does. Well, where's the soul? Well, I think it lies in that point where if you put in bad, and you say negative, and you tell yourself you're broken, and you tell yourself you're sinful and evil and corrupt and all these things. And this is why I get in trouble a lot with my videos, because people think I'm anti this or that. How can I not? I can't lie to you. I believe that's the worst thing you can tell somebody, that they're broken, that they're covered in dirty rags, that they're a sinful nature, that they're born into it, that they have no hope without some external fixture. Here's a man telling you and witnessing to you that when I convince myself that I can't do this, I can't go to the doctor, I don't want to go to the doctor, I'm not doing this, I'm not going, my health degraded to the point where I was literally killing myself. But But when I told myself, this has to stop, you've got to go get your treatment, you've got to go to your medical appointments, you got to go to your blood draws. And now you got to go every week to get a blood draw. You did this. You put yourself in this situation. Now you got to get yourself out of it. And you got to go. And you got to go. And you got to go. And you got to call the dentist. You got to call the chiropractor. My wife didn't call the chiropractor. She didn't call the dentist. She didn't call the doctor. I called the doctor before they called me about my first bad blood reading. That was a wake-up call. The doctor told me the next day to go to the emergency room on July 4th. And I sat there, and he's a wonderful doctor, wonderful family practitioner. And I argued, I'm dying. I'm going to die if I don't get treatment. And I'm arguing with him on 4th of July weekend. It's a holiday for him. And he's nice enough to answer the phone on a holiday when he's not really at work. It's just the way the calendar fell on my testing. My first test was on the on the third I got another one. We got the results over the night of the 3rd. 4th of July, he's telling me, go to the emergency room. And I'm being obstinate. I'm trying to talk my way out of it with him on the phone. You can hear the exasperation in your voice. Or you can just hear, like, in his silence, just sitting there like, oh, what's the matter with this guy? And I finally said, why are you doing this to that man? It's bad enough you're doing it to yourself. Why are you hurting this man? And I stopped. And I said, I'm going to the emergency room. I'll let you know how it turns out. Have a good holiday. Bye. And I got my wife, and we went to the emergency room. I got a quick treatment. I got out of there reasonably. I went away for a few days to relax in a cabin and recoup. I was able to go right back to work. I was feeling like $1,000,000 already. And what changed was in here. What changed was in here. Here, here. And what changed was you got to change that attitude. You've got to change that outlook. You've got to get that energy to be positive energy. And that's where I think Reiki has something redeemable and authentic to teach. If we keep telling ourselves we aren't going to heal, we're only going to get worse, then we are only going to get worse. Now, there is a time and a place for everything, and all things come to an end. But I was nowhere near that. And I put myself there somehow. And I had to get myself out of it with help and attitude. And my energy has never been stronger. And my soul, for lack of a better word, has never been more in line with my body and my mind. My mind and my body are one. And the effort is to heal. And it's not going to get better unless you do the work. Okay? And that's how I think, in a roundabout way, Reiki and energy correction, remotely healing, helping, changing that attitude, changing your outlook. That's how I think all of this works. And I think that's where the mind and the body come together to form the soul. And that's where I think I feel you. When I reach out towards the screen, I feel the blood coursing through my veins, coursing through my mind, connecting with you. Connecting. Making that connection. That's where I think you and I meet. It doesn't need a supernatural element any more than the ASMR tingles that wave through your mind, wave down through your body. The ASMR tingles that course through your body bring you that trance, bring you that pleasure, bring you that chemical release that allows you to relax, to find that coping, calm place in your body, your mind, your body coming together. That's where the soul sits. That's where your soul sits. And we don't have to take that and steal it from each other, or control it, or own it, or borrow it, or collect it. It's just a shared human experience that brings us together and allows you to heal. The old saying, physician, heal thyself. Well, Dr. Andrew Michaels, heal thyself. Reiki Master. Reiki Master, heal thyself. I started my training to get certified in Reiki and learn the arts of Reiki around the same time I was coming out of the hospital. I thought, it's time to quit playing games and learn. It's time to stop playing games and be serious for your audience, for your friends. You are my friends. Bring your training, the love you feel from people all over the world that care about you, the love of your family and your friends. Bring that together. Be the better man. Become a better man. Become a practitioner. Become a true master. Show everyone the connection. Show everyone how it connects. Prove to them that it's not a fraud. The fraud is not that it heals. The fact is, you heal. You allow yourself to heal. You convince yourself to heal. You can do it. It's a change in attitude. It's a change in outlook. If you keep saying no, then no is the answer. If you keep responding in the negative, then the answer will always be in the negative. You have to be positive and put in the work. Heal thyself, my friend. Heal thyself, my friend. I'm just a tool in that toolbox. The doctors, the nurses, the specialists, the medicine, the prescriptions, the procedures, the therapies. They're all a help. But at the end of the day, if you don't put in the work, if you don't put in the hard work, it's not going to happen. And I know you're capable of that. I know you are very capable of that, and so much more. And I do not say it lightly. I believe in you. And you know I do. You know I never hold back. And you know I never lie. I worked my tail off to learn ancient teachings and modern Reiki methods to become a certified Reiki Master. Holding my certificate in one hand with my hand on top of it, I swear to you I'm not lying right now. I know it's not spiritual. I know it's placebo. But where the mind and the body meet, you can heal. And that's where the soul lies. I will not lie. I do not believe the soul is real. It's not physical. It's not something science can measure. And I understand that, and I don't want to lie to you about it. But I believe where the mind and the body come together, that's you. That is what you are. That little kernel, that little grain of sand, that's where the soul lies. And it's a beautiful thing. And you are a beautiful, unique, wonderful creation. We are truly stardust. We are golden. We are billion-year-old carbon. And I am so honored to meet you and to share what I have learned with you. Bring you healing. Bring you peace. Bring you comfort. Bring you knowledge, teaching, honesty, love, and positive environment, and tell you that you are wonderful. People say there's something wrong with everybody getting a participation trophy, but they forget that all of us get a participation trophy. We are all born into this. We all have to live with it. This body, this mind. And then we all have to pass on. All of us. And the amazing thing is, we all get a participation trophy. How big your participation trophy is, it's not up to me. It's not up to them. Out there. Your participation trophy and how big it is and how grand it is totally up to you. It's totally up to you. And you are the only one that matters. You and your outlook, how you see the world, how you interpret the world, how you bring the world into your life, how you see the world, how you allow yourself to be healed, how you allow yourself to interact. It's all up to you. And you. And you. And you. And you. And I'm honored to be a part of your life. And I'm honored to know you. And I'm honored to help you. But at the end of the day, you are what drives this whole thing. And I want you to know you are special. You are beautiful. And there's nothing wrong with you carrying home that huge participation trophy with your name on it. And only your name on it. And nobody gets to engrave that trophy with your name on it except you. And I am honored that I can help you on your journey to getting it. And I'm honored to know you. And those of you who have met me in real life, shake my hand or give me a hug. Know that I greet all of you as a friend. We're all in this together, and we've all got to take care of each other. So be the best person you could be today. Be the best you can be, and I'll do the same. Okay? And we'll keep healing together. Okay? All right. My name is Dr. Andrew Michaels, and I play a doctor on TV. I am a Reiki Master, and I believe in you. I believe in you, and only you. And I will always be here to help you. Yes, I will. Until I see all of you again, please have a most blessed day. And know that I love you. I really do. There's something about helping all of you. Always something about helping all of you changes something in me. Has changed. Continues to change something in me. And wow. I can't thank you enough for that. No. I can't. And that's honest as I can be with all of you.